Do you want to master editing videos for you or your clients and stand out from the rest by your unique style of editing? Well, me too. But as I'm in my journey of becoming a good video editor, I realized one thing: basics are the most important thing in video editing. Actually, they have very huge impact on your final effect. Most beginners try to edit like professionals, forgetting about fundamental aspects that can make their projects more professional just by changing a few things. So in this video, I want to show you a few details that I haven't paid enough attention to earlier and still see many beginners don't either. So let's hop on Premiere Pro and After Effects. But wait, quick disclaimer. All of the things that I'm about to show you, you can implement no matter if you're using Premiere Pro, After Effects, DaVinci Resolve, Final Cut Pro, and so on and so forth. So let's begin. Number 1. Cutting. Cutting is pretty easy part of editing. Maybe a little bit boring, but cutting your footage is basis of the basics. But many people don't realize how important this part is, and they don't put enough energy into making them good. But why should I spend so much time on cutting when I can spend it on visuals and VFX? This is such a waste of time! Not really. See, by cutting your footage, you have control of pacing your video and make it more engaging. So next time you cut, make sure you move a few frames back and make it cut here, not here. Or here. So let me show you the difference between two seemingly similar cuts.
Alright, so I'm gonna show you the difference between two different cuts. Alright, so I'm gonna show you the difference between two different cuts.
Obviously, you don't want to overcut your video and remove some spoken parts like this.
Alright, so I'm gonna show you the difference between two different cuts.
So you just need to balance it and make cuts as close as you can to the end of the scene. Additionally, you can use specific types of cuts. For example, J-cuts. J-cut is a type of cut when the audio of new scene is playing, but there is visual from the previous scene. It's called J-cut because it looks like letter J. By using J-cuts, you can make your video more engaging because the viewer hears the next scene but they don't see it yet, so they are curious what will happen. Number 2. Quality of animations. If you edit social media content, then you probably do a lot of animations, and here are some details that can help you spice your animations up. First of all, you need to know how keyframing works. So you have an object that you want to animate. You set your keyframe here, then you want to move it to the right. So you go to the moment when you want your animation to end, move your object and set ending keyframe. Now it looks something like this. But it doesn't look good at all. So if you play around with this graph, you can make your animation more natural and dynamic. For example, let's drag it down and make a spike right here. And now let's see how it looks. See, it's so much better. But we can make it even better by adding motion blur. In Premiere Pro, you need to use transfer effect and set shutter angle to 360. But in After Effects, you just need to enable this. Now we added motion blur to our animation and let's see how it looks. Yeah, that's a small detail, but it do its work. But this is not everything. To make it smooth and appealing, we want to add movement to the object. So in Premiere Pro, you have to keyframe the position like this and save it as a preset, so you can use it every time you want to add movement. In After Effects, you can use Animation Composer, and here you have special preset for movement, and you just need to play around with these values and you're done. After everything we've done, here's the final effect. As you see, we took care of 3 small details and now our animation looks way better. Number 3. Adding texture. Now this is very unnoticeable thing, but it makes your video more professional and appealing. If you want to show some picture to your video or make some background, then you can add a few effects that will make it look good. Let's make some cool background from scratch. Create a new color mate, drag it into the timeline, double it, add a grid to the second one, set the shape of the grid, double first color mate again, move it to the top, create a mask, increase the feather, decrease the opacity. Now we made vignettes, add some turbulent displays, play around with these, keyframe evolution, and now we have simple good looking background. And we actually use only 2 effects. So as you see, you don't need to add a lot of effects to make it look good. Number 4. Audio. Here I want to talk about 2 details that are skipped by most beginners. First is adding too loud music and sound effects. You don't want your video to look like this. Hi guys, in this video I want to show you how to edit like a pro. So next time just pay attention to that. And for me it's better to add too quiet than too loud audio. But if you have problem with deciding if your audio is at the good level, then it's good to check it on few different devices. For example, you can render your video and see how it sounds on your phone. And if the music or sound effects are too loud, then come back to your project, turn it down a little bit and render one more time. And repeat the process until your audio will be at the right level. And the second is right placing your sound effects. Because sometimes I see people put sound effects like this. Now how can you make sure that you place your sound effects correctly every time? Well, it's simple. If you use motion blur to your animations, and I hope you do, then you just need to match your spike of your whoosh or swoosh with the most blurred part of your animation. Exactly like this. Then as you see, your sound effects matches your animation and your video look more professional. Right, and I guess that's it for today, and I can guarantee you that these few seemingly trivial details can boost your level of your video editing and make your videos look more professional. Because remember that the most important part of video editing are basics. So if you find this video helpful, then let me know that in the comments, and see you in the next video.